Considering how popular video game Easter eggs and secrets have become, it's no surprise that there have been just as many fake ones conjured up to make a fool of curious players. From the so-called Nude Raider cheat to being able to catch Mew hiding under a truck in Pokemon to Scott Tailford being any good at Crash Team Racing, some of these false narratives have become the stuff of legend. You might have thought that in the modern age, these tricky dickies would have gotten less effective, but no matter how old you are or how finely tuned you think your BS detectors are, there'll no doubt be at least one of these Easter eggs that totally took you for a ride, and no, not the kind Jules likes to pretend to give your mum every single night. I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 famous video game secrets that never really existed. Number 10. The Pendant Dark Souls. Look, you don't need me to tell you that just about everything in Dark Souls is significant, with most of the item descriptions contributing to the world building in one form or another. The game was home to so many mysterious things that encouraged players to probe everything to uncover their true meaning. It should come as no surprise then that when one of the starting items, a pendant, provided seemingly no buffs or value at all, fans got to work on finding out its deeper meaning. This borderline obsession wasn't helped either by creator Hidetaka Miyazaki, saying in interviews that players should start with this item or nothing for the best possible experience, with everyone losing their minds over what secret the pendant would eventually unlock. It turned out to simply be a big bad bit of banter on Miyazaki's part though, who confessed to whipping up the debate around the item simply to play a prank on the most obsessive fans. Well, it worked, Miyazaki, I hope you're goddamn happy. Number 9. All the Bonds. Goldeneye. Goldeneye 64 took the games industry by storm when it first came out, successfully selling the idea of a console first-person shooter to players for the first time. While it was already a tremendously ambitious title on release though, there were a number of additional features that Rare had to cut for whatever reason during development, some of which they actually teased in the marketing. Certain pre-release material had shown Sean Connery in the role as Bond, and the presentation of the cheat suggested a hidden 24th cheat for players to figure out. Just like 1 and 1 is 2 and 2 and 1 is 3, this seemed like destiny, and a rumor circulated that it was possible to unlock every James Bond as a playable character. The myth was further propagated by Electronic Gaming Monthly magazine as well, which printed fake screenshots of Roger Moore and Timothy Dalton as an April Fool's joke, and the rumors persisted for many years after release. In actuality, Nintendo had failed to secure the likeness rights, so the cheat was never actually included in the game at all. Number 8. Petting the Pig. Monster Hunter World. Look, video games don't always work on regular logic. You're talking to fans who have fully accepted that, yeah, finding 10 Yorkshire puddings, putting a finger up their bum, and making a wish on a shooting star at the stroke of midnight is a totally reasonable solution to opening a locked wooden door in an adventure game. Consequently, when the rumor was going around that petting Poogie the pig in Monster Hunter World, yeah, surprisingly not a euphemism, I know, would increase your chance of nabbing rare loot, nobody batted an eyelid. It turned out that this tip and trick, WhatCulture patented approved, was just a little joke perpetuated by players, though some did genuinely believe that it would increase their chances of better gear. Even without the tangible boost it was supposed to give though, it's still a nice little ritual to perform before you venture out on the hunt. Poogie deserves your love. Number 7. Sonic and Tails Super Smash Bros. Melee. After Sega bowed out of the hardware industry, they started to license out their trademark characters to other companies, and for a while it was looking like Sega and Nintendo would be a match made in heaven. In fact, Sega's most famous mascot, Sonic, was strongly rumored to be included as an unlockable character in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Once again, our old pals at Electric Gaming Monthly magazine didn't do much to help the rumors, claiming that players had to defeat 20 enemies in a row on the Cruel Melee mode in order to unlock Sega's mascot and Tails as a sidekick. It was later revealed to be just another April Fool's joke though, and Sonic and Tails never actually featured in the game. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, however, released 7 years later, did actually include Sonic, but alas, no Tails. Number 6. Bee-Bop-Bop-Bada-Bop. That's right, it's the Ratman. GTA 4. Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto series is well known for being packed with Easter eggs and secrets, so it's no wonder that players began coming up with their own urban legends that could have conceivably been real. One of the most famous supposed secrets from the series is the mythical Ratman. Ratman John himself, not his real name, I'm just dedicated to this gimmick, was supposedly a very tall creature that was, well, half man, half rat, and lived deep in the darkest parts of the city sewers. According to the rumors, he would sprint towards players at high speeds and attack them, even when unprovoked. Photos were even passed around that quote-unquote confirmed Ratman's existence, leading to believers spending hours searching the underground areas of Liberty City just to get a glimpse of him. Despite the lack of evidence though, many still believe he exists even today, and some even say you can still hear his glorious scat tunes echoing throughout the tunnels. Alright, I'm done, this was a bad joke, I'm really sorry. It's just that I'm really scared of the Ratman, okay? Look, I can't talk about him otherwise, he really does haunt my dreams. Number 5. Easier Pokemon catching. Pokemon Red and Blue. Pokemon Blue and Red were incredibly popular games, helping to spawn a franchise so popular and powerful, in fact, it even made going out and socializing seem fun a couple of years ago. Obviously, the whole point, as always, was catching them all, something which took plenty of time and effort to achieve. To make matters worse, Pokeballs wouldn't always succeed in the capture, and watching a ball wobble about as it struggled to keep a rare creature inside could be extremely tense. Looking to ease the pain of these escapes, some hopeful, misguided players believed a combination of tapping the B button and a direction on the D-pad would increase the chance of success. It didn't, but longtime fans will swear by the method even to this day. Number 4. Aerith Resurrection. Final Fantasy VII. Easily one of the most iconic video game deaths of all time, and yet I still will no doubt get a few angry spoiler comments once this vid is up, even though the game is, well, nearly older than me now. Nobody wanted to see Aerith go in Final Fantasy VII. Games just didn't kill characters off like this back then, and it was a shock to the system to see such a beloved companion bite the dust. Baby me cried, you cried, and one of the most emotional scenes of all time was immortalized forever. Because this hadn't ever really happened before though, there was the belief that there must be some way to save her, or at least bring her back to life. There had to be. Video games aren't real life, I don't want to have to deal with this grief, goddammit. For years, rumors swirled about different ways that Aerith could be brought back from her grisly fate, be it by getting someone else killed instead, or rescuing her ghost in a church. Sadly, there was no actual way to bring her back, and she was lost from your party forever. While she was God in the flesh, or voxels I guess, she did remain in our hearts forever. Number 3. The Old Lady Modern Warfare 2. These days, anyone can run recorded video game footage through an effects suite and doctor anything they want. And consequently, most gamers are pretty skeptical when unconfirmed Easter eggs pop up, and the majority of us can spot a fake, no matter how convincing it may be. But back in 2010, around the release of Modern Warfare 2, it wasn't so simple. In the case of the so-called secret old lady in Activision's world-dominating sequel, which came from a YouTube video with over 15 million views, players had no idea what to believe. The fact that the Easter egg was recorded live from someone playing and discovering the secret off-screen only led to its persuasiveness. How could anyone edit such lo-fi footage? There were a few hoops players allegedly had to jump through to trigger the secret. On the underpass level, you had to find a hut, put a bullet in the top left corner of the door, put 3 in the bottom left, 2 in the top right, and 4 in the bottom right. To top it off, you had to throw a flashbang and an old lady would come out, berate you, and then shoot you to death. Of course, it was all BS, but it had plenty fooled while they were trying to replicate the Easter egg in their own matches. Number 2. Ghoul Transformation. Fallout 3. Although Fallout 3 shared many similarities with Bethesda's Elder Scrolls series, it was limited in one way. You had to be human. I mean, this made sense, as unlike the fantasy world of Oblivion and the like, there were no Argonians or Khajiits in this grounded post-apocalyptic tale. And there were certainly no vampires. Well, there was kinda, but you know what I mean. That said, at the time of the third game's release, there was a rumor going around that you could indeed transform into something more than human. You came across plenty of ghouls on your journey, humans who had been transformed into zombie-like creatures by extreme exposure to radiation, and it was hinted that if you hit the max radiation level yourself and didn't die, then you too could join their ranks. Yeah, it's a little far-fetched, but it made total sense at the time, at least it did to me. I remember vividly walking into the nearest radiation hot zone and standing there as the bar slowly ticked over and the time went by, eager to see what horrible secret transformation Bethesda had in store for me. And then I just died. I'd been tricked. We'd all been tricked. Good, I'm not still bitter about it. Nope. Why do you ask? Number 1. The Ruse Cruise. Metal Gear Solid 5. While all Metal Gear Solid games are weird, Metal Gear Solid 5 was particularly odd. From its winding, fragmented narrative to the way the game was marketed, initially revealed as an original title from a team called Moby Dick Studios, there was always a mystery for fans to unravel. Consequently, when the game actually ended on a surprisingly flat note, after a whole chapter of repeated missions and narrative twists that came out of nowhere no less, like the indoctrination theory before it, fans clung on to the idea that a Chapter 3 that would finish the game properly was coming. Dubbed the Ruse Cruise, fans across Metal Gear Solid message boards were putting together so-called evidence that suggested that, in time, this secretive third chapter would indeed be released. And it was all part of Hideo Kojima's master plan. There just had to be more, right? Well, the reality was that Kojima's fractured working relationship with Konami was no doubt what left Metal Gear Solid 5 feeling so unfinished and rushed in the end, not any grand plan. Still, at the time, this secret ending felt entirely possible. I personally remember scouring these message boards every single day, almost entirely convinced something was coming. I now fully understand how people get sucked into, say, cults and conspiracy theories, because I was totally on board and I pissing loved it. So that's our list. I don't know what you guys think down in the comments below. Were you fooled by any of these, or were there any that I missed here that did fool you at some point? Either way, could you give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to WhatCulture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. Even if you don't though, I've been Josh, you've been watching WhatCulture, and I'll see you soon. Bye.